Hey everybody, how's it going? Stoudman coming back at you once again, and today I'm going to be talking your ear off about Blu-rays again. I have an addiction, and I must feed that addiction by buying more Blu-rays that I probably don't need, but want them anyways. Thankfully, lately I've been able to pick up some titles that I need for my collection. So, yeah, in fact, I believe one, two, three, four, five. There are several in here that I specifically have had on my wish list for quite some time. So I made an order on SecondSpin again. I'm becoming a frequent buyer from them, I guess. But they had some really good deals. Well, it was like a 25% off kind of deal. And they do that, I think once a month or something like that. But it was still a really good deal, and I had to take advantage of it. So I went ahead and got some pretty good stuff. I think I paid what I usually pay, which is like between $40 and $50 for a pile of Blu-rays. It ends up being about $5 or less per title. So yeah, just keep that in mind when I show you what I picked up here. Some of them I paid a little bit more for, some of them I paid a little bit less for, but the average is about $5 a title. I don't want to go and check out exactly how much it was, so just forget about it. Anyways, the first thing I found here was Saving Mr. Banks, which is a movie that I actually had the opportunity to see for free several years ago when it came out. They wanted me to see it before it came out, you know what I mean? They sent me like a little thing saying, hey, we'll give you a free ticket to see it before it comes out. Basically, I guess thinking that I was somebody with some kind of influence or something, which I wasn't quite there yet. I never really got quite there. Even when I was doing movie reviews for websites and whatnot, I never quite got to the point where I was, somebody who would be respected for something like that, or a official movie critic, or had any kind of license or anything like that. Which I believe there are actually some things that you have to have in order to receive that kind of stuff typically. But anyways, I had the opportunity to see this, did not actually go to see it though. Just didn't have the time, and it was way out of the way, so I was just like, screw it. But I did want to see it because it sounded really interesting. It's a story of the person who came up with the idea for Mary Poppins. And you got Tom Hanks here starring as, I believe, Walt Disney himself. So, pretty interesting looking little biopic here. Haven't seen it, have really wanted to though, and it was a really good price, so I decided to pick it up and check it out. Again, if it's a really good price, I'm not going to say no to picking it up, especially if it's something that's, to my knowledge, not on any digital streaming service, not on any free digital streaming service at least. They might end up putting it on the new Disney service, but that's not out yet. We don't know when that'll come out or what the price will be. So I'm just going to get this because I think I'm going to like it. So yeah. Next up, this one would be one that I have had on my wish list for a while, but I did not want to pay a whole lot of money for. And I think it came to like $250 after all was said and done. So finally decided to pick up Lucky Number Slevin. This one has been really hard for me to find. I don't know why, because it's really cheap and affordable. No matter where you look for it, no matter where you find it, it's very affordable. The Blu-ray was made, and they made like 1,000,000 copies of the Blu-ray, I guess. I don't know, they just made a lot of copies of the Blu-ray. So there are tons of copies out there for people who want them. But for whatever reason, whenever I try to find it, it's just nowhere to be found. When I'm looking in the bargain bins or whatever, when I'm looking at thrift stores, wherever I'm looking to get Blu-rays, I never find this. It's just not a title I come across very frequently. So, yeah, whatever reason, in my neck of the woods, it's just not very easy to find, so I decided to pick this one up finally for a pretty good price online. I don't think it's like the best movie ever, definitely not, but it's enjoyable, and it's one that I liked and wanted to have in my collection, so here it is. Finally got it in my collection. Next up we have Das Boot, or is it Das Boot. No, it's Das Boot or something like that. I have family that is German. I have a German brother and a German sister. They live in Germany. I can't speak German. This is the craziness of my family. The oddness, I guess I would say, the odd kind of out there aspect, I guess, about my family. But anyways, Ryan Chataway put me up to this, I guess you could say. He didn't actually tell me to buy it, but like he watched it for his movie marathon one year, and after as he was talking about it while I was watching his movie marathon, I really got interested in seeing it. I didn't realize it was such a long, epic, freaking movie, and well, here it is. Now I can finally watch it, so that's pretty awesome. This is the director's cut. I hope that's the right version to get. It's been so long since I watched his video about this, his movie marathon video about this, but I'm thinking to myself now, I bet you in that video he says, don't get that version. That's not the right version. Whatever the case may be, though, I'm expecting good things from this. Have not yet seen it, but definitely need to because it's a classic, you know. Next up, and this one was probably the one that cost the most. You can understand when you see it. The Good Dinosaur. I have not actually seen this movie yet, but it is a movie that I've been wanting to see for a while. It came out like, what, 2-3 years ago or something like that, and so as a fairly new Pixar, I believe it's Pixar animated movie. As a fairly new Pixar animated movie, you gotta kind of figure that they're gonna charge a little bit more. It's gonna be a little bit harder to find for a halfway decent price for that $10 price point that I like to go for when it comes to Disney Blu-rays. And I finally found this for, I think it came to like $7 or $8 after all was said and done. And that's a pretty good price to pay for any, well, I wouldn't say any, but most Disney titles on Blu-ray. But it's, I think, a really good price for a newer Pixar animated film that really hasn't quite made its way into thrift stores and all that kind of stuff. There weren't, I don't think, as many copies of this because this was made during, it's 2016. This was a Blu-ray release in 2016, and in 2016 I can tell you for damn sure that they were starting to like ramp down production, as it were, on Blu-ray titles across the board at pretty much every place. I mean, I don't know it for a fact, but like I know how businesses like these think, and they're gonna mass produce, but they're not, if it's not selling as well as, say, as they want it to, you know, then they're not going to mass produce as much, which is why, of course, we are seeing a Disney Netflix, if you will, a Disney streaming service coming up, because they're like, well, this is where the audience is moving. They're not buying these anymore. We're going to go to that. That being said, I've said it before and I'll say it again, people are still buying physical media. Don't just assume that because they're ramping down production that it's dying format. It's not a dying format. If you want an example of how physical media in general is not a dying format, you just look at vinyl and CD sales, which recently in 2017 made more money than digital streaming, not streaming, but actually just digital music sales. Yeah, digital music sales in general. That's right, vinyl and CD sales beat out digital music sales on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff. Just beat all of it out. So it's really difficult to say, well, physical media is dying. Nobody wants physical media. Physical media is stupid. It's like, well, then why are all these people buying it? Why is it still so freaking popular? Blu-ray is not as popular as it was 10 years ago when it had just freaking come out and it was the new hot freaking format to have and the new hot way to watch a movie, but it's still popular enough that they're still making them, and they're just not making them, I don't think, in as big a number. And because of that, you'll notice that the newer titles take a much longer time to drop down in price, basically to a point where I would want to pay for it used. So, yeah, I've rambled on far too long about this one, but yes, I am really excited to see this. Have not yet seen The Good Dinosaur, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I definitely wanted to get it and give it a shot, especially since it was such a good price. Next up, we have Amelie, and all these were supposed to be used when I shop on SecondSpin. I assume naturally that when I buy a used Blu-ray on there, it will arrive and it will be used. This one was not. This one was sealed and had like a used sticker on it, but it also had like all the wrapping, like the security stickers and stuff like that around it on both the top and on the side here. So it was brand new factory sealed. It just also had a used sticker on top of the seal for some reason. They do that sometimes. Sometimes you'll receive things that say they're used, but they're actually brand new. I don't know why, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, because that's a great deal. Whenever you can buy something for a used price and get the new item, that's freaking awesome. And in this case, it's a very cool deal because Amelie, fantastic movie. Been a while since I've seen it, but I loved it when I did see it, and can't wait to check it out again. Definitely wanted this one for my collection to get it new. Really good deal, but it was also one of the ones that was actually fairly affordable. I think it came to like under $5 or something, like somewhere around there. So very, very good deal on this one, and I'm very happy to have picked it up. A bunch of special features on there too. Next up, I finally picked up Step Brothers, which was another one that's just been sitting on my wish list for the longest time, and I found it for a really good price on there. I think it was like $3 all said. I liked this one a little bit. Like I'll say I would give it like a 6 out of 10. You know what I mean? And for most people that's like well, then why would you even bother watching it again? But for me, it's like a 6 out of 10 is like a watchable movie. 6 out of 10 is the kind of movie that back in the day when I was a kid, if it was on HBO, if it was on TBS or whatever, and there was nothing else on to watch, I'd probably be happy as pig and shit to watch it. You know what I mean? So that's my feeling about these kinds of movies. It's like they're not the best movies in the world, but they're good enough that maybe I want to pop it in someday and watch it just because I need a laugh or something like that. And this one is pretty entertaining. I do enjoy it quite a bit. I don't think it's the best movie ever. I don't think it's the best comedy film ever or anything like that. But there are a lot of memorable moments. And yeah, definitely been wanting to go back and check this one out for a while now. It's been, the last time I saw it was probably shortly after it came out. So yeah, been a while. And again, really good price. Next up, we have Batman Year 1 on Blu-ray, another one that was on my wish list that I wanted to add to my collection, and here it is. Been a while since I put it on my wish list, been a while since I've seen it, but finally getting around to putting it into my collection, and this is a really good animated Batman film. Love it, and one of the things I love the most about these releases is that they also have additional things like additional cartoons on them. So this one has DC Showcase presents Catwoman. It has 2 bonus cartoons presented by Bruce Timm. There's just a bunch of extra special features as well. You know what I mean? So tons of cool stuff on here. Glad to finally have this one in my collection. But there are a lot of animated Batman films that I need to get in my collection. This is just one of them. I definitely want to get Under the Red Hood. I want to get some of the newer ones too. I definitely want to get the Ninja Batman one. I know people are like, that's kind of weird, but I'm kind of interested in seeing what that one's all about, you know? So I kind of want to get that one and see what that one's about. But yeah, there's a few Batman animated films that I have watched and enjoyed and want to get in my collection that I don't have yet, but they've been on my wish list, and filling out those wish list orders right here. Next up, this one was another one that was factory sealed. and I was very, very happy to see that because this is arguably one of the best films ever made. It is Rocky, not Stallone, Rocky. And for those who don't know, even though it doesn't say it boldly and proclaim it boldly on the cover here, this is the 40th anniversary edition. It has a brand new transfer, and it is a gorgeous transfer. It's the one that you want to get for your collection. I already have Rocky. I have the original Blu-ray of Rocky, which I believe had an MPEG-2 encoding, which, because of all the crap that I've had to deal with Sony Vegas as of late, is what you're watching this in. But I'm sorry. But it suffices for YouTube, but if you want to watch a movie in the highest possible quality, it just doesn't really cut it anymore when you can get such better quality from other formats. And this is going to be your better format here. AVC format. Much better transfer. Much better release here. And this one, again, brand new, and it didn't cost much. It was like $5 or something like that after all is said and done. $5 for Rocky is a really good deal. I mean, I think you can get an even better deal on the original version that I have, but that's because it's the original version. It's not very good, you know what I mean? Or it's not as good, I guess I would say. I believe the main problem with the original release is that they overblew the red in the picture, so like the color balancing isn't perfect, right? Most of the colors look perfectly fine, but the red is overblown, so it doesn't look right or something like that. You know what I mean? I think they fixed that in this one, but I don't know. I can't remember. All I know for sure is that I've been told several times that this is the one I want to get, and I'm just gonna upgrade the one that I have. Get this one. I don't know what I'll do with the other one. I might send it to a friend of mine, but I think he actually said he already had it, so I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in the lot on eBay, but that hasn't really gone well. I will say, for those who are looking for an update, the $20 box that I bought of DVDs is not looking good. I have not sold those for very much money. In fact, it's looking like I'm not going to make any profit at all. I'm going to lose money on that. But again, I got to keep a bunch of DVDs in there, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll just write it off as me having spent $2 for each of the DVDs that I got, and everything else I made was just, money on top of it. But, that being said, let's get to the last title here. Before you get angry at me for taking all of your time today, Harry and the Hendersons. I know some of you are going to say, really? Others are going to say, I love that movie. And Owen is going to say, why didn't you get more movies with Bigfoot in it? He actually already said that. Owen Neal, who does the Psychotronic Coast to Coast show with Skin Slip with my friend Brandon. When I showed a picture of what I got from SecondSpin on Discord, which, by the way, Geeky has a Discord. If you want to go ahead and check that out, you can. You can talk with all of us, yeah! But yes, when I showed this in the Discord, he specifically stated, really, only one movie about Bigfoot? So, yes, only one. And honestly, I remembered liking it a little bit when I was a kid, right? But as time went on, I kind of grew out of it. It became one of those things that was like, oh, that's stupid, you know what I mean? How when you become a teenager, when you get a little bit older, you're just like, well, that stuff from my childhood is stupid. I can't believe I like that. But then we watched it for a movie gangbang kind of thing. I don't think it was movie gangbang anymore, but it was kind of like that. You know what I mean? We watched it for something like that, and as I was watching, I'm like, actually, this isn't terrible. I'm actually kind of liking this, and yeah, I kind of found part of my inner child again. Realized that this is a movie that I do kind of enjoy. It's not like the best movie ever, but in the same way that like the I keep saying like because I'm a child of the 90s. But it's kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in that way, you know what I mean? Where Honey, I Shrunk the Kids has that same certain feel of like maybe it's not the best movie ever, but it's still a fun, enjoyable family flick from my childhood that I have nostalgia for, and that's exactly what this is for me. I mean, I feel like the same thing could be said about Iron Giant, which objectively is a much better film in every area than this is. But a lot of people who were born just a few years after me consider Iron Giant to be like this incredible movie that they're incredibly nostalgic for. And I'm just like, I like Iron Giant too, but it really wasn't that good of a movie, you know what I mean? You just have nostalgia overload for it, and that's perfectly okay because everybody gets nostalgic about something, and nobody should be shamed for being nostalgic about anything because it's literally just feeding your inner child, and that's one of the best things anybody can do for themselves because it makes them feel good. Why wouldn't you want to make yourself feel good in a proactive way that doesn't hurt anybody? It doesn't have to be the best movie ever for people to have enjoyed it enough to consider it the best movie ever and consider it as such mostly just because of nostalgia. Like, if people want to be nostalgic and enjoy these things, let them enjoy them. Let them be geeks. There's nothing wrong with it. And that's one of the things I love about the modern age is that geeks are accepted in this culture. So anyways, that all being said, that is all I got today. Again, I got a lot of stuff here. Pretty good titles, if I do say so myself. Some of them maybe not as good to some of you as others, but I think even objectively, again, there's that key word I keep using, there are quite a few titles in here that are really good. I mean, Das Boot, I'm sure, I haven't seen it yet again, but I am absolutely positive it's going to be great. Amelie is a fantastic film. Rocky, great. Like, even if you don't like every title in here, even if some of them are really cheesy, there's still some good stuff in there. So yeah, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. Peace.